New parent can be an overwhelming and scary time. This uncertainty is a major cause of stress, which is manifested in 70 to 80% of parents having the baby blues. Here to tell us how Goldilocks assists parents and clinicians is Shem Richards. Welcome to you.
Hi, thanks for having me. Good to be on.
Thanks for joining us, Shem. Now, explain a little bit more about what Goldilocks is and what does it do?
So Goldilocks is a singlet, a normal baby singlet that a baby would wear, and built into it is sensors. Built into the fabric is sensors, which then tells us how your baby's feeling. So it can tell us how hungry they are, how well they're feeding, how hot or cold they are, how well they're sleeping, and how well they're developing, to really give parents insights into why their baby's crying. As a new parent, we brought home a baby about 3 years ago, and at the hospital she was great, and we really enjoyed having her there because we had all the support we needed. But then we brought her home and she started crying, and we're like, oh no, we've forgotten everything we ever learned about babies, and that's everything you learn you just forget about. So that's what Goldilocks is really about, just answering really simple questions that parents have about why is my baby crying? Are they too hot? Are they too cold? Are they too sleepy?
Well, I mean, I don't have a baby, but I can imagine that it's such an overwhelming time. Talk to us a little bit about the technology. Like, how have you come up with this? How does it actually work?
Yeah, so I'm from medical device background, and I used to work in ICUs, and doctors often have patients who can't communicate with them there, so they put an ECG on, and that tells them how the patient's feeling. So as a parent, when I brought home a baby, I was like, the baby can't communicate with us, but surely we can use technology with that. So we came up with a way of what's called e-textiles, is building sensors into the clothes of the singlet, into the fabric of the singlet, and then the sensors kind of come together in a module, and that Bluetooth to your phone. And on your phone you have an app which gives you really a dashboard about how your baby's feeling at the time.
This just seems genius to me, absolutely genius. So how is it going to sort of work? Because you've obviously recently launched this equity crowdfunding campaign on Virtual, which is going to help you try and fund the commercial launch of the product. So tell us a little bit about that and where you're hoping to get to.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning the virtual campaign. That's great. We actually officially opened the offer today. So the expression of interest is finished, and we're officially opening the offer today. So that's great. So as you say, that's really to fund the commercial launch. We got money from Artesian to develop the product. Obviously, we bootstrapped the first few prototypes, and then had to make it look nice. So we got money from Artesian to make it look nice, do the industrial design, work on the app. And we recently received that from the manufacturer, and we're running through our final tests to make sure everything's tickety-boo. And then we're going to do a pre-release of 50 to 100 units around November this year. And the funds we raise from virtual and from traditional investors will really fund the commercial launch, which will be early next year.
Wow, so when are you expecting that, if all this sort of goes to plan, that you will actually have this available in stores for people to purchase?
So there will be a pre-release product which will be available to the public of 50 to 100 units, which really proves our supply chain, manufacturing, that type of thing. And then January, February next year is when we'll have it available through an e-commerce website and online.
And what's the sort of price point that you're going to have on this, or is it too early to sort of disclose that yet?
Yeah, we're looking around $400, but we're just looking at how we're going to bundle that up, whether we're going to do hardware as a service, which is starting to become a lot more popular with subscription-based things, or it's a purchase up front. We're still working that through, but it'll be around $400.
And when you've spoken to, I guess, new parents and people throughout this sort of testing process, what's their feedback been like?
Yeah, it's actually been quite good, because there is technology out there which helps them with things like SIDS, and there's some with sleeping. But we found parents whilst they were concerned if their baby was going to die in the next 2 minutes, that was something that they were concerned about. They were more concerned about the everyday questions that they have, like, why is my baby crying? Are they hungry, or are they overtired, undertired? Are they too hot, too cold? So when we proposed that to parents, they were like, that's really good. And that from our market research, it showed that around 48% of parents were interested in this type of information, rather than the SIDS was more around 20%.
Well, it sounds genius to me. Look, if people want to get involved in the virtual crowdfunding, how can they do that?
So you can go to our website, goldilockssuit.com, or just type in Goldilocks Suit and the virtual campaign will come up from there.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We look forward to staying across your journey, so make sure you come back and let us know how that's all gone for you. Thanks, Shem.
For sure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.